I the bad guy?
Am I the bad guy?
Am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy?
Am I the
Am I the
bad
bad guy?
Am I the bad guy?
Last year, my girlfriend Roxy and I had a major fight. But first I have to explain how it happened. She is a very traditional woman and made a big fuss about things like holidays and special events. Her dad retired from the military and raised her with a lot of formality and respect for tradition. I knew it meant a lot to her that I do stuff like take her to our city's parades and social events. She is a demanding lady and always wants three things: a card, flowers, and a thoughtful gift. Emphasis on thoughtfulness. One year I got her a gag gift, an oversized elephant. I found out the hard way she wasn't into that kind of thing. I actually like that she is a bit more serious. I tend to like to take things easy, and she brings a lot of structure into my life. She knows what she wants and is confident enough to say it to me. Half of the relationships I've been in, my partner never told me what they wanted. I know a lot of guys can relate. Just tell me what you're thinking. Anyway, I am terrible at remembering dates and calendar events. Luckily, I grew up in the modern age of technology. That calendar app on my phone is a lifesaver. I put everything on it from birthdays to dentist appointments. All my friends think I'm super thoughtful, but the truth is, I'm just technologically organized. I may rely on my phone a tad too much, but more on that in a second. I had a really busy month at work. It was a boring job, but it paid okay. Got a nice bonus for turning in a media presentation with some data growth, and my boss was impressed. He asked if I would be cool doing the same presentation remotely on the weekend for some new investors to get a feel for what we have to offer. He implied that these kinds of out-of-office opportunities are given to the up-and-coming staff who they have in mind for promotions. I didn't even pause and said absolutely. To be honest, I didn't think they were even considering me. I usually punch in, work on some advertising, and punch out. It's a very chill, laid-back job. A promotion would mean I get to manage a team, and the pay bump is definitely a game changer.
I've been with Roxy for 4 years, and I admit, I've occasionally taken her for granted.
She had a habit of calling me a bit of a slacker, which is fair because when football is on, I tend to drop whatever else is going on at the apartment. I may have burned dinner a few times, but I did always order a pizza to make up for it. I got home from work, and Roxy was busy getting the kitchen cleaned. I gave her a big hug from behind and a kiss on the cheek. She starts saying how she's getting the house all ready.
I'm like, for what? She says, that's funny. I am legit so confused. Roxy asked me about my day.
I was so excited to tell her about the possible promotion and how the presentation went. She makes more money than me and sometimes likes to tease me about it. So I started to tell her I was asked to help out with the presentation remotely over the weekend. She said, "That's great, baby. When is that?" I said, "Saturday." Her face went red, and she left the room in complete silence. I knew I was in the doghouse if I didn't figure this out fast and grabbed my phone. Calendar reminders don't fail me now. Right there, Saturday, anniversary, me and Roxy.
Otto.
I had a feeling there was something coming up, but I totally forgot. See, the problem here is that my calendar reminder was only set for 2 days before. I'm a last-minute planner and usually just book us a nice reservation the night before. Her favorite Italian place is usually not that busy, so it's never been a problem. She always cleans the house a little extra before we have a party or a special event, and I was too distracted to see the signs. I ran upstairs to reassure her that I hadn't forgotten our special day and would call later to get us a table, but that the excitement of a possible promotion had distracted me. She said,
Oh, I know how you are.
"And I love you. Don't worry." I already called the restaurant and made the reservation. I'm like, wow, perfect. I'm in the clear and got out of this potential disaster. She really takes this kind of thing seriously. And trust me, I learned the hard way. 2 years ago, I forgot to get her flowers and a card for her birthday while we were on a camping trip. Camping? In the middle of the woods. She eventually forgave me and asked me to think ahead more next time. It took weeks for her to cool off. I can't blame her much though. She did tell me that stuff like that is really important to her. I figured rubbing it in the wilderness was the exception to the rule.
Anyway,
I learned my lesson on how serious she takes things like that and haven't messed up since. If you're thinking she is being too rigid about stuff like that, well, Maybe she is, but everyone has their quirks, and you have to take the good with the bad. As I was leaving the room to unwind and catch the pregame that was coming on, she mentioned that she booked a table for us at 6 o'clock. I had my mind on football, so it didn't even faze me. I put an alert into my calendar and forgot about it entirely. Now comes the nuclear bomb. A few days later, my manager drops by my office to ask if I wanted to spruce up anything in my presentation for our remote meeting with the prospective investors and shareholders. That's when it dawned on me. I had agreed to do the presentation on Saturday within a half an hour of my anniversary dinner with Roxy. I've never had sweat hit me so fast in my life. I said the first thing I could think of.
Could we move the meeting 1 or 2 hours earlier?
He said that the investors aren't in our time zone and were halfway across the globe. The meeting was at 5:30, right before our anniversary dinner. I told my manager we were still on and ready to go. Why didn't I put a reminder in my phone for that dang meeting? 30 minutes is nearly the commute to the Italian place. I didn't know what to do. So I did something I thought was pretty smart. I called the restaurant and asked if they could change our reservation to 7:30. They said no problem. Yes, I could pull the remote meeting off and have time get across town for dinner. I might even make it there early. I just explained to Roxy that the restaurant had needed to change the reservation at the last minute and had called me to let me know. Roxy took the news well and didn't think anything of it actually. I was really relieved.
Maybe I had pulled this one off after all.
Saturday came and I did the presentation for the investors. It went fine and my manager had a notable look of approval on his face afterward. Booyah, nailed it, and I was even ahead of schedule. So I got dressed, threw on some
Cologne.
and hopped into the car with her fresh bouquet of flowers. Did I mention she really likes flowers? Roxy was going to meet me there in a separate car. I arrived at the restaurant feeling like the king of the world, making waits at work, and still have time for my girl.
I sat at the table nibbling on some bread and butter and waited for Roxy. At 7:35, I immediately started getting worried. She was insanely punctual. So I called her. Voicemail. Texted her. 7:45 rolled around, and she is nowhere to be seen. The waiter came to my table and gave me the worst news. Roxy had shown up punctually at 7:30. She had also asked him about the reservation change because she noticed the restaurant wasn't very full when she arrived. He told her that I had personally changed the reservation. She thanked him with a polite smile and left the restaurant. In complete silence.
I was busted. I immediately went outside to find her, but she was already gone. That's when I noticed the nasty scratch she left on my car door. I don't care if I made a tiny mistake, you don't scratch my car. I headed straight home to confront her and probably raised my voice a bit too much. She says she didn't scratch my car, but she wishes she had. And now she's even more pissed off at me for accusing her. Plus, she says she's angry at me for lying to her. I try to explain my side of things. I didn't lie. I just moved things around in our schedule a little. Plus, if this extra effort for work led to a promotion that was for her and our future, what was I supposed to do? I found a way to make it all work out, but she didn't see it that way. I did try to apologize, but she chucked my flowers in the garbage. I still think she overreacted.
We could have just had dinner and enjoyed our afternoon, but she had no chill. Am I the bad guy?
If you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button, then click again and hit the all bell notification option, so you'll be the first to know when the next bad guy story is available. Remember to hit the like button, share with a friend, and drop your comment and thoughts below. Do you have a bad guy story that you would like to share? Send your story to badguystories@gmail.com. Thank you for being part of our community, and have a great day.